Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to day 85. Oh, it's our last week. Today's class will be focusing on doing some hip opening. Bring your hands together in front of the heart and take a moment as you're here to set an intention for your practice. And then we'll come onto our backs and just draw the knees into the chest. Gently rock here from side to side. Oh, I cannot even believe that we're almost finished. And then hold on to your shins and draw your knees into your chest and then circle them away. And just make some circles in one direction. So hopefully this yoga practice, this daily yoga practice, you've started to create a nice healthy habit for your body and for your mind. And then we'll make our circles going in the other direction. Keep the breath nice and steady here. And then reach for the pinky toe sides of your feet into happy baby. And draw the knees down toward the armpits and continue to lengthen your tailbone toward the floor. So stretching out the spine. Keep the right leg as it is. Extend the left leg out into half happy baby. So get a little deeper stretch in the right hip. And make sure the left leg stays active. Point the toes right up to the ceiling. And then slowly we'll release sides, release the right leg, take the left foot from the pinky toe side, extend the right leg out. And again, just taking some deeper breaths into the left hip. And make sure that there isn't any tension in the shoulders or in the jaw. So let any tension go that you might feel creeping up. Sometimes when we stretch the hips, tension creates in other places. Let's come back into happy baby for a moment. Gently rocking side to side and then extend the legs out to the sides. You can hold on to your legs or you can grab your toes. But continue to reach the tailbone down toward the floor and try to lengthen out the legs as much as you can. So if you can straighten the knees, do. And now we'll rebend the knees. And roll ourselves up. Take a couple of rocks and rolls up and down the spine. Come forward. Make your way into table with your hands just in front of your shoulders. And then take your hips off to the right. Swing them back and to the left. Bring them forward. And then over to the right again. So we'll make some hip circles. So you can make these hip circles as big or as small as you like them to be. This is one of my favorite things, are these hip circles. So if you find a spot in the hip circle where you're like, oh, it just feels good to stay there, then just stay for a couple of breaths and stretch out that spot. Now start to shift your hips and go the other direction in your circles. And again, as big or as small as you like. Check in with your breath. Make sure your inhales and your exhales are all through the nose, equal in length. And then take your hips all the way back to your heels into a child's pose. And then come back up onto your knees, tuck your toes under, and stretch into downward facing dog. And start to bend one knee and the other. Stretch out your hamstring muscles. And then keep your buns up in the air as you bend the knees, chest back toward the thighs, and then stretch your heels toward the floor. Being sure the arms are shoulders distance apart and your feet are hips width. Arms and ears are in line. Inhale, float your right leg up, bend the knee and open up your hip. And then just make a couple of circles with the whole leg into the hip socket. And then keep it opening again. Stretch it out once more and square off the hips. Step your right foot all the way up. Take your left knee to the floor. Pull your right hip back and sink forward. As your right hip comes back, try and send your left hip forward. Spin the triceps forward. Lift up and lengthen through your torso. As you exhale, bring the hands down to the inside of the right foot. Lengthen as you inhale and exhale for lizard. You can stay right up onto the hands or take your forearms down or put your forearms on top of a block. And just take a couple of long breaths here. If your knee goes out to the side, just turn your toes in the same direction. Come on up, tuck the toes into plank pose. Shift forward, slowly lower to the floor. You can always take the knees down first. Inhale, cobra pose. Reach through the toes, lift the shoulder heads, lift the belly. And then exhale to the knees and tuck your toes, lift your hips back into downward facing dog for the left side. Left leg up, bend the knee, open up the hip. Now start to make your big hip circles. So move that whole hip joint. And then stretch the leg open once more. Reach the right heel toward the floor. Square off your hips and step the left foot up. Make sure your left knee is over the ankle and pull the left hip back as you sink forward. Lift your hip points up towards your lower ribs and drop your tailbone down. Try and turn your outer upper arms, your triceps forward so your palms will face each other. Stretch up through arrow straight arms. Exhale the hands to the inside of your foot. Lengthen on the inhale, stay right here. Or exhale, come to your forearms on a block or on the floor. If your left knee goes out to the left, turn your toes to face that direction. So the knees and the toes will stay lined up. And then continue to make sure your knee stays over the ankle. Come on back up, tuck the toes, come into plank, and lower chaturanga. Excuse me. Inhaling up. That was chaturanga. And exhaling back. And gaze between the feet or the knees. And draw the lower belly in, pull the ribs in. Arms and ears are in line. Then come to the toes, hips high, either step or hop your feet up. As you inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, press down and rise up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, circle your arms up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, step back into plank and lower through chaturanga. Shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, press off the thighs, up dog or cobra. Exhale to down dog. If you're in cobra, you don't have to lift off the thighs. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Press down into the base of your fingers as you lift away with your forearms. Keep extending back to lengthen the spine. Look forward, step or hop your feet up. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Press through your feet, rise up on your inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale again, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hinging forward, fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step or float into chaturanga. Inhale, press up into up dog or cobra. And exhale, lift your hips, come back into downward dog. Stretch back and lengthen again through the spine. Reach your heels toward the floor. So technically this will be a recovery week this week. Some of it will be recovery. Some of it will be flow. Like today's class is just kind of a regular flow. Float the right leg up, inhale. And then exhale. Step it all the way up. Spin the back heel flat. Line up heel to arch into warrior two. Make sure that your right knee is over the ankle and it points over your second toe. And gaze over your right fingertips. Press through the outer edge of your back foot, lifting up through your back inner thigh as you do. Now breathe here, lifting the chest, letting the shoulder blades draw down away from your ears, and keeping your nice steady drishti, your focal point, right over your front fingers. Just notice as you're holding here what thoughts might come up. Thoughts like, oh my gosh, how much longer will we be holding this pose? Those thoughts often come up for me when I'm in somebody's class holding for a long time. But notice if you can just watch those thoughts and then not attach to them. Just kind of allow them to come in and allow them to leave just as easily. Let's drop the left arm reverse, bend into the right knee a little bit. Inhale, come up, take the right forearm to the right thigh, reach the left arm up and over, and spin your tricep down on the left arm. You can keep your right forearm down or reach the right hand down toward the floor, maybe hold the ankle, or a block is great. And keep bringing your back hip forward, and make sure your right knee stays in line with your second toe. Just a couple more breaths here as we open up that hip a little bit more. Inhale, come on up into Warrior Two, and then exhale, cartwheel your arms down through your Vinyasa, or you can always skip it and go right into Down Dog. Inhale, Cobra or Up Dog. Exhale, make your way into Down Dog. Inhale, left leg back and up. Exhale and step it through, spin the back heel flat, come back into Warrior Two. And then just double check here that your left knee is pointed over the second toe and it's stacked over your ankle. Still want to be lined up front heel with the back arch and your back inner thigh lifting up as you gaze over the fingertips. And then come back to your steady breath. Even take a moment to come back to the intention that you set for your practice. And while we hold our poses on the mat, it helps us to breathe through things that are uncomfortable, so that when we're off our mat and into the quote-unquote real world, maybe driving and getting cut off by a driver or something that's uncomfortable, we can learn or just react with breathing through it instead of reacting with being upset. So the yoga practice helps us off of our mat as much as on. Reverse your warrior, drop your right arm, bend into the left knee. Inhale, come up, take left forearm to the left thigh, reach your right arm up and over, sink your back hip forward. You can also slide that left hand down to the floor or hold on to your ankle. And keep the right arm up and over, in line with the ear, looking up, Urdhva Drishti, Urdhva meaning up. Keep sinking the back hip, lifting the back inner thigh, and breathing here. Just another breath or two. Inhale, come into Warrior Two. Exhale, windmill your arms down through Vinyasa, Chaturanga. Inhale, press up through the hands and feet. Exhale, lift the hips into Downward Facing Dog. Float the right leg up. Exhale, step it through, spin the back heel flat into Warrior Two again. This time not holding. Drop the left arm reverse, bend into the right knee. Inhale up, exhale, the right hand down, forearm to thigh or hand to ankle or floor. Inhale, make your way back into Warrior Two. Exhale, windmill your arms down, step back into Chaturanga. Inhale, press into the hands and feet. Exhale, lift your hips into Down Dog. Left leg up, inhale, exhale, step it through, spin the back heel flat. Inhaling to Warrior Two. Sink in. Exhale here. Inhale and reverse your warrior. Exhale, bend into the front knee. Inhale and come up. Exhale, side angle pose. Left forearm to left thigh or slide the hand down, reach the right arm over. Inhale, back into warrior two. And exhale, cartwheel your arms down, take your vinyasa. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, make your way back. Right leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it through. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale here. Inhale and reverse. Exhale. Inhale, come up. Exhale into side angle. Take the left arm over, looking up. Inhale, warrior two. And then exhale, cartwheel your arms down. Either go to down dog or move through your vinyasa. Inhale your left leg up. Exhale, step it through, back foot flat, warrior two. Inhale and reverse. Exhale, bend your left knee. Inhale up, exhale, side angle pose, left forearm to thigh or left hand to the floor or ankle. Inhale to warrior two. Exhale and move through your vinyasa or go into downward facing dog. So just a way that we can warm up today while we are stretching our hips. Right leg up, inhale. Exhale, bring it forward into pigeon. So if pigeon isn't a good pose for you, roll onto your back, take your right ankle above the left knee. So if this pigeon pose hurts your knee or your ankle, you'll take the other pose. Make sure your left toes are pointed straight back behind you. And we're just going to stay here for a few breaths as we continue to stretch our hips. And as you're here breathing, just notice if any tension is being created around your shoulders, maybe in your jaw, or maybe that hip is really tensing up. Inhale and come up and step back, lift that right leg and just stretch it out. And then set it back down. Inhale your left leg back and up. Exhale, bring it through for pigeon. Make sure your right toes stretch straight back or lie onto your back. Left ankle just past the right knee and thread the needle. So even if one knee is fine, if the other one hurts, modify on that side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to extend. The hips should be even. So sometimes there is a tendency to roll off onto that left hip. And if your left hip is rolled onto the floor, that puts your knee at risk. So it's better to prop up your left hip with a blanket or a pillow or a yoga block than allow the left hip to come down. We want our hips to be level. And again, notice if there are any sensations that come up in the body creating tension, or if any emotions start to come to the surface. And just noticing. Inhale and come up. Exhale, lift that leg, bend the knee. And then set your left foot back down. Inhale your right leg up again. Exhale, bring it forward, and this time take your feet to parallel. Inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold forward. Prasarita Padottanasana A. Outer hips and inner thighs are moving in toward each other. Gently lift your shoulders up away from your ears. If your elbows bend, line up your wrists underneath your elbows. So your head doesn't have to touch the floor here. Inhale halfway up, and you'll either jump your feet together and sit down, or you can slide yourself out toward Upavista Konasana. Or the middle split is called Somokonasana, so I'm trying to come down right in the middle. I can't quite make it, but that's okay. Or I can sit down into Upavista Konasana, lengthen in on the inhale, and then exhale, coming forward any amount. So Hinging from the hips, keeping the spine long. Toes and knees are pointed up toward the ceiling, and make sure to pull the toes back and flex your ankles so that your leg muscles are engaged. Inhale and walk yourself up. Cross your ankles, step or hop back to a wide leg stance, and then come on up and turn your right leg out, back toes in, warrior two, and just enough to windmill the arms down. Inhale and press up. Exhale, make your way back. Left leg floats up on the inhale. Exhale, step it through and take the feet to parallel. Lengthen as you inhale. Interlace the fingers and exhale to fold forward. You can take the other interlace, the opposite one, the one you don't normally take. And again, outer hips, inner thighs are squeezing in as you breathe here. Lifting the shoulders gently away from the ears. And maybe your head can touch down, doesn't have to. Gazing off the tip of the nose. Inhale to come up. Step or hop the feet to sit, or slide yourself out again toward Upavista Konasana or Samukhanasana. So if you come back into Samukhanasana at first, you can stay there for a moment and then sit your hips down for Upavista. Sit up tall on your inhale, flex your ankles, and then exhale, hinging from the hips. Come on forward. Keep your spine nice and long. And the outer hips and the inner thighs continue to pin in towards center. And if it's too much to come forward, if it's just too intense, then don't. Just sit up tall. As long as you feel a stretch, that's all that matters. You can also sit up on the edge of a pillow or a blanket to elevate your spine and give you a little more length. Inhale and come up. Cross at your shins, step or hop feet wide. Come up on your inhale, turn your left leg out, warrior two for a moment. Take a breath in. As you exhale, step back into chaturanga. Inhale, press up. And exhale, back into downward dog. Looking forward, step or float through and sit. We'll come all the way onto our backs for a bridge pose. I think. No, not bridge pose. Extend the legs and reach them up and over. And grab your toes and then extend your legs wide. And then I just lost my balance. So legs over, grab the big toes or grab the legs. And then we're going to rock ourselves up in a moment and try to hold it. So rock up, lift the chest, and hold. Now you may find yourself rocking back and forth a little bit. I've done that a lot. But make your way back up, extend the legs out, release the legs, and hold them up. And then grab those toes or legs again, sitting up tall. Cross the ankles, press up. Either step or jump into chaturanga. Inhaling up, exhaling back. Now if that didn't work, push pause. You can give it another go. It's kind of fun to play with. And then we'll walk the hands back to the feet in a forward fold. Grab your opposite elbows, just gently rock. And now we're going to come down. And I'm facing the wall with my right knee over my left knee, knee on top of knee. So if you have a wall handy, make your way over there. Take the left arm up, bending the elbow, right arm out to the side, and clasp or hold onto your shirt and roll your right shoulder back, widening the collarbones. So I just came over to the wall because I'm going to add a little headstand here. And if you don't use a wall or you don't do a headstand, then you don't need to get by a wall. Leaning forward, we stretch open the hips, and incidentally, you can always stay sitting up if that's too intense to lean forward. But here's a fun way to switch sides. Bring your hands to the mat. Take the crown of your head down. Make sure it's the very crown. Line up your elbows right above your wrists. Lean forward. You've got your legs in the same position, and then uncross them. And then bend the knees and recross them. And then making your way back down slowly so you have your left knee on top of your right knee. Or just switch legs. Inhale the right arm up. Left arm out to the side and clasp. Sit up tall and exhale, coming forward. Leaning forward with a nice long spine. And again, you don't have to come forward any amount. You can sit up tall and continue to roll the left shoulder back as you spin the right tricep in towards your face. And if you did come forward, you can still do that. Inhaling up. And then I'm just going to turn back to face the front of the mat and make my way into down dog, so we don't need the wall again. Come to plank, move through your vinyasa, chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale up, exhale back. Look up, step or hop through and sit, and then lie back. Bridge pose now, for real. Take your feet hips width, heels under the knees, press yourself up when you're ready. Tailbones reaching toward the backs of the knees, interlace your fingers or not. Spiral your thighs in like you're holding a block. Lower down to rest. Either another bridge, hands by the sides, or you can put your hands up by your ears for Urdhva, making sure the elbows stay parallel. Press up, second round. Keep the chin away from the chest, lengthen out your neck. And breathe, tailbone toward the backs of the knees. And then we'll roll ourselves up, back and forth, up to seated after a couple of rocks. Take your legs out wide again for Upavista Konasana. Now pick up your right foot and try to touch your heel to your navel and then extend it out. Same with the left. Try to touch your left heel to your navel and then extend it out. So right leg, so the leg externally rotates. So I'm going to externally rotate the left leg, heel to navel, and extend it out. So turn the leg out so the foot points out, and then bring it all the way heel to navel. Maybe set it down on the left thigh, and then the other way. Turn the leg out, take the heel to the navel, maybe set the left foot on the right thigh. Exhale, fold forward. Keep the toes and knees pointed up toward the ceiling. Again, stretching out. So when you take the heel to the navel and bring it across and let it rest on that thigh. So I'm going to do right heel to navel, bring it across, let it rest on the left thigh. That's half lotus. If you can get the left on top of the right, that's full lotus. If it hurts your knees or your ankles, you undo it. Okay? But you can play with that if you like, as long as you don't have any knee issues. If you have knee issues, skip it. And then we'll come up onto the knees, cross the shins, or if you're in lotus, you'll stay in lotus. Elbows in toward the belly, lean forward, lift your legs up any amount, and then extend them back into chaturanga. Inhaling up, exhale back into down dog. So push pause, play with that one if you like. You can do it from shins crossed or from lotus, and then step or hop through when you're ready and lie down. Hug your knees into your chest if you're continuing on. Drop the knees off to the left and turn and look over your right shoulder. Just a nice gentle twist. And then back to center. And take it over to the right side as you look left. Inhale back to center. As you exhale, make your way into your final resting pose. So take a few moments to get comfortable in your Shavasana. Feet flap open, arms by your sides, palms facing up. Release your Ujjayi breathing, just natural breathing. And once you're comfortable, let everything relax. Making some movements to reawaken the body. So as you stretch, I have our quotes from Sean Aker from the Happiness Advantage. He says, habits are like financial capital. Forming one today is an investment that will automatically give out returns for years to come. And he says you have to train your brain to be positive, just like you work out your body. Let's bring the hands together. Take a moment here, bringing the hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. And our hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And our hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste. We'll send out all this wonderful energy we created to all beings everywhere. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where we'll work on some Pincha Mayurasana. If you enjoyed our class today, please push the like button and leave us a comment. Let us know about your experience. And I love the comments. Please subscribe and push the like button, I said. And if you have the ability to make a donation of any amount, all donations are super helpful for us to continue our mission to bring yoga to as many places as we possibly can so that more people can experience the benefits. Bye.